Hello and welcome again. I thought today I'd have a quick chat about the Red Sea jump guard, because when you actually look at it on the tank, okay, it doesn't look particularly fantastic, but at the same time it is very well made in its own way. The unit comes in kit form and you are required to cut it to the appropriate size. So if you've got one of the Red Sea tanks that's got overflows and light fixtures and all sorts, you are going to have to do a fair amount of cutting. But the instructions for each type of tank are well and truly sorted. Excuse me, Elsa getting in the way. Excuse me, thank you. Chic. So when you look at this, it's fairly simple for mine. It's a rectangular. The Red Sea Max S500 is just a straight rectangle. So all of these frame parts here are aluminium and they have to be cut to size. They also came with plenty of these. I need 4 for my system, so there's one here, one over there, and one here. But I also put the other 2 on, one there and one there, which didn't actually need them, but I found that they actually come in quite handy for me because they're not load bearing in any way. They do stick up just a little bit on the tank, and it allows me, when I need to move this, to just lift the whole unit up, start with by lifting it here rather than trying to get my fingers under anywhere else. So I actually found that very handy. Makes it a little bit more manoeuvrable for me because my tank's, well, 50 odd inches wide, so it's a bit of a length. The netting, the mesh here, is some form of nylon, very thin, but it's to stop the fish jumping out, nothing else at the end of the day. It's not cat safe, I understand, so we'll be looking at that. But all this has to be cut. Instructions are in the booklet for each individual type of tank, and you buy a kit for your particular tank or range of tanks, but your tank will be listed. And if you're like me, it is do it yourself, and as I've said before, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being useless and 10 being fantastic, I'm 0.5. And I don't have many tools, I don't have a workshop, I don't have a vice. It's very much a matter of what have I got, what can I use. I have a junior hacksaw, which is what I needed for this, but at the same time, because all this frame is aluminium, it needed to be really kept still when trying to cut. And trying to cut a straight edge is quite difficult for me, as you can appreciate. It looks straight to start with, but it ends up, it's not quite there. When you look at that, for instance, it's a little bit on the skew. It's just, you can see there's a tiny bit more gap there than there is there. But again, with these pieces that go in, the connectors, they've got lips or tongues on them, so they go in a fair way anyway, so that wasn't an issue. But it was just things like scratching the aluminium, which is the last thing you want to do with something that cost, I mean, this one cost me nearly 60 quid, so you don't really want to get it all scratched and looking grotty. But it's doing the job, it sits there quite nicely, it's got a little bit of weight to it, so it's aluminium, good quality, but it's do-it-yourself skills. If you need them, use them. If you haven't got them like me, it's fun. I hope you found this useful. We will be looking at other things on the tank. I'm still cycling. Couldn't help myself yesterday. We went to another fish store just to have a general look, one we hadn't been to before, and found a piece of dead rock, almost in a horseshoe shape. And on the left-hand side there, I've got loads and loads of room over, which I'm quite happy to have, so that the fish have really got some good swimming space. But we're probably going to be putting it on that left-hand side of the white rock there, just to give a little bit of a horseshoe coming out there. And we've also got that piece in there, which was actually part of that piece that broke off, and we found it in the car in the boot the other day, so I thought I'd just pop it in. That's the man-made stuff. It's quite brittle, but we'll be putting that somewhere once we find somewhere nice for it. So there we are, the Red Sea Max jump guard. Really is a nice piece of kit at the end of the day. It may not look fantastic, but it will certainly do the job. Once again, if you have watched this far, thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.